Hello, and I think you all know who I am, obviously by now. You're probably thinking to yourself, Self, I am missing Mr. so much, and I wish he were just here to explain all the words to me. And so I figured I'd make this video because this problem can be kind of confusing, and I want to make sure that you guys really understand this for your partner quiz. So let's start off by trying to figure out how to get rid of this weird boxes. There we go. All right. So a picture is put behind a 16-inch by 16-inch border. The border on the sides is twice, so it's twice as wide as the border on the top of the bottom. So when I'm looking at this, I should be thinking, do I know the width of the top and bottom border? And of course, the answer to this is no. You have no idea. So what we're going to have to do there is whenever we're creating this, we're going to have to use X for that. So first let's start with our beautiful picture. Wow, perfect square. So 16 inch by 16 inch. And we know that here's our picture. Okay, and we are told that the border on the sides is twice as wide as the top or bottom. So if I don't know the top or bottom border, I'm going to label that just with a nice X. Which means if that's X, then the sides has to be 2X. Okay, so from here, we can figure out a few things. From here, we know that we're going to be creating a quadratic equation because we're also taking a quadratic test, and we also know we're going to be multiplying because we're talking about area. So it's also asking for the dimensions of the picture. That's our final question. That's what we're asking. So we say 16, I'm going to be dealing with this 16, minus, I have an x here and an x here. So that means I'm minusing 2x times the quantity. Again, here we're dealing with that 16 minus, and here I have a 2x on the left and a 2x on the right, so that makes it a 4x. And again, we're subtracting here, and when we're subtracting it, essentially what we're saying is this length here is the 16 minus 4x, and the other length is the 16 minus 2x. So that equals the area of just the picture. And I want to make sure we clarify that is just the area of the picture. So from here, I just need to multiply everything through and figure out, and essentially really just distribute here. So I do 16 times 16, which gives me 256 minus 64x minus 32x and then plus 8x squared equals 96. Now I'm going to automatically subtract the 96 here because I know that that's what I am trying to get rid of. I'm trying to get everything to one side so that way I can solve. So I'm going to combine everything kind of in one fell swoop here, but I think we're okay with that. So my 8x squared goes out front. Then I combine these two terms to make it a negative 96x, and then plus 160 equals 0. So next I need to see if I can divide out GCF. And we realize here that we're actually able to divide everything by 8, which is really nice. If we couldn't divide by 8, we'd try to divide by 4, or really whatever we could. But here, definitely dividing by the 8. It's fantastic. So that gives us x squared minus 12x plus 20 equals 0. And then I can factor this, right? And we're factoring it because we set it equal to 0. That's kind of an indication that we're factoring it here. We don't need to find the vertex or anything because that wouldn't really help us. We're not trying to find like maximum area. We already know what our area is. We're just trying to find out what the zeros are. So what multiplies to get us 20 and adds up to negative 12? That's of course negative 10 and 2 and negative 2, negative 10 and negative 2. So x minus 10 times x minus 2 equals 0. So x equals 10 or x equals 2. So I have two answers and they're both positive, so I need to see which one makes sense. Looking back at our problem, we would have 16 minus We have 16 minus 2 times 10 is 20, which gives me a negative 4. So if I use the 10 there, that means that that 10 is actually going to be way too big. So x has to equal 2. And now that I know x is 2, I need to double check my work and see if I've answered the question. And it says, what are the dimensions of the picture? And I know the dimensions of the picture aren't 2. 2 is actually the dimension of the border, or the width of the border. So what we need to do is we need to plug that back in. We have to say 16 minus 2 times 2, which is 12. And then 16 minus 4 times 2, which we know is 8. So our picture dimensions are 12 inches by 8 inches. And we can multiply those together and make sure it works, and it does. So good. There's one explained for you.